In the U.S., according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, there is an average of 220 million drivers on the road every day, and I will bet that just about everyone here contributes to this statistic. According to afdc.energy.gov, 96% of all our transportation units in the U.S. are dependently fueled by gasoline, which is a product made from oil. Currently, the main energy source in the United States is oil. Americans depend on oil in their everyday life, and we are rapidly exhausting the resource. By simply cutting out our dependence on gasoline to fuel our cars, we would drastically reduce the United States' reliance for oil. Finding other means to fuel our vehicles is a necessity to prepare for the future when our main source of fuel, gasoline, is no longer available. Scientists have been trying to find an alternative way to produce fuel to power our vehicles that is better for the environment, more cost-effective, and has a nationwide availability, and is equally, if not more efficient than the use of gasoline. Experts have come up with many different alternatives, 3 of which I will be discussing with you today. But as of now, none of them work quite as efficiently as gasoline. Gasoline will not be around forever, so it is crucial for our scientists to put time, money, and effort to create an alternative way for Americans to fuel their vehicles. Biofuel is a type of alternative fuel that is most advanced and widely used in the U.S. By definition, biofuels are produced by renewable resources. Currently, the most popular biofuel on the market is ethanol, which is produced from corn. Biofuels have already been explored a great deal and are already available throughout the nation. The article Biofuels from the New York Times said, there are already millions of cars that are flex fuel and can run on traditional gasoline, or a mix of 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline. Because the fuel for these cars is a renewable resource, there will be no issue of exhausting the resource, and the emissions would not be as damaging to the environment. If all these facts are true, wouldn't it only make sense to continue researching and make ethanol our alternative? Even though biofuels already have a jump start in production and dispersal, they still have obstacles to overcome. Because corn is the main source to produce them in America, this would cause limited availability and a price fluctuation across the nation. Biofuels would be cheaper in areas with lots of farmland like the Midwest, while the East and West Coast, on the other hand, would not be so financially lucky. Corn would be in high demand for production of fuel, and naturally the monetary value of it would raise. Dr. Burr, a graduate research assistant in the Department of Agricultural Economics at Purdue University, discussed his concern with the impact it will have on our nation's agriculture. More corn would have to be produced. This in turn could not only lead us to deforestation problem, but there is also the issue of scarcity of clean water. Deforestation and shortage of clean water are problems that parts of our country are already dealing with, and this would just add to them. Also, something to keep in mind is because our nation would be dependent on a crop for our main source of fuel, there's a risk of having a bad growing season, which would set us back on our goal of keeping fuel at a low cost. Understandably, corn can be grown in a matter of 6 months, but it would be being produced in a climate that has a limited growing season. Biofuels have been being developed for years now, but scientists are coming up with new, possible alternatives that still need a lot of research. Hydrogen-fueled cars are a newly researched option of alternative energy. Hydrogen-fueled cars are powered by the gas of hydrogen. In simpler terms, a hydrogen-fueled car uses the combustion of water and hydrogen to produce an electrical energy. Instead of storing the energy, though it generates electricity, the online article New Hope for Hydrogen Storage stated, because it generates electricity and burns the hydrogen, it is not only extremely environmentally friendly, but operates pretty much the same way our traditional gasoline engines run, and is 90 to 95% as efficient as gasoline. This alternative still needs a lot of research and development before it would be sufficient and safe enough to use in the online article. The online article, Hydrogen Cars, Pros and Cons, relayed us some interesting facts. To construct the fuel cell, the element platinum is a required material. Not only is this element very expensive, but is a limited source. Another problem is hydrogen is a very flammable, and an explosion of a car could occur if even the slightest collision with another heavy object were to happen. Lastly, to work efficiently, there are temperature restrictions. At places where the temperature goes below zero, there is a risk that the water in the fuel cells would freeze. In theory, hydrogen-fueled vehicles taking the place of a gasoline-powered car is the perfect swap, but scientists have to continue to make lots of progress to use this as a nationwide alternative. Battery electric cars are becoming more popular. Battery electric cars are a great solution to end our gasoline dependence. They are great for the environment, run quietly, and can be utilized all over the United States. Current electric cars are a little on the pricey side, going for an average of $16,000 for the car and then an additional $6,000 to purchase the battery. This may seem expensive, however, this is not a standing price. Also, the cost of running them are very low and there will be no need to purchase gas. Companies like Chevrolet even offer an 8-year warranty or a 1,000-mile warranty with the purchase of a new car. As of now, electric cars do not have the longest lifespan, but that's something they are continually improving. Advances in longer battery life and faster charging rates have already been made. They have already invented a battery that can run up to 300 miles on a single charge and be 80% recharged within a half hour. Since the average American only drives 29 miles an hour, 29 miles a day, that is more than enough energy. Dominant use of electric cars would decrease our need for gasoline, but in the return it would increase our demand for electrical grid, which unfortunately at this point most of the electricity that is developed with this grid is fossil fuels. This may seem to be contradictory, but the future will bring advances in all types of alternative energy, including solar, wind, and nuclear power. Scientists have already put in countless hours and tons of money into creating and researching each and every one of these alternative fuels. It may be strange to think that one day one of these fuels will be our main source. Looking back at all the facts presented, it is clear that electrically powered cars will be our dominant source of transportation in the future. Electrical energy trumped all the other fuels when it came to meeting the 4 criteria of bettering the environment, cost effectiveness, having a nationwide availability, and equally, if not more efficient, being more efficient than gasoline. Electrically powered cars still have a lot of progress to make, but they are on the right path to successfully taking the place of gasoline in the future.
My name is Connor.
I was like not breathing. I was like